In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. Civilization begins with order, grows with liberty, and dies with chaos. Chaos was the law of nature. Order was the dream of men. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steed, Newfoundlandville. Episode 2, Season 2 of Arcane. I'm assuming that if you're on my channel, you've already seen the magic that is Arcane. The first season was out of there. The second season starts off with a bang. One of the things that's most beautiful about this is how it starts off. If you are paying attention to the first little segment that comes before the theme song, and then the segment right after the theme song, like they are saving something absolutely magical, and they are tinkering, they're toying with different art and animation styles, and it is just something amazing. Here you see the Enforcers, led by Caitlyn, now with Vi on the squad, on the hunt for Jinx. So after Silco's death, Zaun drops into a sort of anarchy, and there is infighting. There's a power vacuum. And the Chem Barons, who are Smeech, Cross, and Margot, fight for control of Zaun, fight for control of the underworld. And Savika's the only one that says no, it was Silco's goal, it was his dream to unite everyone. They don't care nothing about Silco's dream, they just want to be in charge. Smeech, who is the little raccoon looking dude with the mechanical cyborg Jones, he is definitely not Rocket Raccoon, says, you know what? We can get rid of the Enforcers if we give up Jinx. They looking for her, they want her, they don't want us. So we can run things if we get rid of the problem. We'll get all the Enforcers out of Zaun if we give up Jinx. Savika's like, no, you know how much she meant to Silco, we can't get rid of her. Jinx meets a young orphan named Isha who's getting jumped, and she's being attacked, and Jinx saves her. Meanwhile, in Piltover, Victor, we saw at the very end of last episode, Victor wakes up. He sees that he's come out of his coma, and he sees that his body is some kind of I don't know, metal butterfly type thing, because he was in like a cocoon. He was like in a chrysalis, and the hex core melded with the shimmer that was inside his body and made something else. I'm getting real strong prophet Jesus type vibes off of him, like Victor's on something else. But Victor is way past upset with Jace because Jace broke his promise. He said he was going to get rid of the hex core, that was going to stop using it. And he didn't. And instead of getting rid of it, he used it. Not only used it, but it did something strange and melded it. Like the hex core is almost like inside of Victor now. And that is one promise that he can't just abide by. He can't let that go. Like, no one told you to save me, let alone use the hex core on me. He pieces Jace out. Victor goes back to Zaun, and he's in the Undercity, and he runs into a little dude named Huck. And Huck looks like he's down bad. He looks like he has spent some time on the set of Breaking Bad. And he was addicted to the shimmer, and Victor heals him. Heals his body, and puts some of them like butterfly kind of tattoos on his body, like he's healed. I mean, his grill is still, not a good look, but he heals him. with his new powers. Echo, the Firelights are struggling. They've got so many new refugees, people that are running from the Enforcers. The Enforcers are wrecking shop. And they are just coming through Zaun and wrecking shop. And basically Echo and his little crew, they're being overrun at the tree. And the tree is starting to break down. It's starting to show something's wrong with it. The tree looks like it's dying. Something is wrong with the tree, the little tree of life that they had underground. So Echo and Heimerdinger, the little gremlin who went Super Saiyan, that's what MC said, they sneak into the academy to go find, I don't know if they're really going to find Jace, but they definitely wanted to talk to Jace, because Jace is really the master behind the Hex tech. So they need to understand what he's got going on, and they need to kind of quiz him and see if he can figure out what's going on with the tree. Very early on in the show, we see Caitlyn and her group of enforcers with Vi. Vi takes them to the arcade where Jinx or Powder and Vi spend all the time with Vander. Jinx happens to be there, but she hides when they come in because the squad is using the gray in a way to kind of flush out Jinx. Caitlyn's mother gave her the key, and the key was the control to the gray. And so they're using the gray, which is this super toxic smoke, and they're flushing them out. Jinx is starting to get like sick from the gray, but she hides when Vi and the enforcers come in. But Jinx is hurt. She is wounded because not only did Vi switch and become the thing that she hated most, an enforcer who killed their parents, but she's choosing Caitlyn over her again. And then you bring them here, a place that we held sacred with Vander. Nah, I can't rock with that, right? You know, and Jinx doesn't see what she's done in this situation. She just sees, you know, what Vi is doing wrong. And it's this cycle that continues. When Jinx gets away, she gets ambushed. She gets waylaid on the street by Smeech. And they are housing her because they're going to turn her in. They figure if they turn her in, they get the bounty for her, they get the reward, then they can go back to business as usual. But Savika comes to save the day. And it just so happens that one of the things that Jinx has with her is that she had made Savika a brand new arm. Oh, and that arm is something sweet. It reminds me, it's like straight out of Elden Ring. Isha is also with Savika as well. They also kind of team up together to help save Jinx. Jinx reveals to Savika that at this point, she's so over Vi that she wants to finish what she started and kill off or finish the rest of her family. We see towards the end of the episode that Singed took those two wolves that he found at the very end of the first episode of season 2, and he's doing experiments on their organs. He took the hearts out of some, he's doing experiments. And we see something that's the purpose of his experiments. Fade to black. As we went into this episode, I call this Why So Serious? The whimsical nature of Jinx, as we've seen, has really given way to madness. And she reminds me in many ways of the Joker and Harley Quinn in DC. One of the quotes I love, and you know I love my quotes, is, "I am chaos incarnate. I love chaos. I would fight only for myself and love only myself. If all other people exist out there to magnify that love, then there is no more splendid world than this one." I like that quote because that explains Jinx. She is chaos incarnate. Even from when she was young and she was called Powder, she was chaos. She always messed up in the smallest of ways that caused major problems for her and Vi. And you would think they were just kids who just, were mischievous. But Jinx always took it a step past mischievous, where it was destructive. And in the end, it cost Vi 6 to 7 years of her life in jail, in prison. And the crazy thing is, even though Powder, Jinx, started that and created that problem, Jinx blamed it on Vi. She had resentment towards Vi and said that Vi abandoned her when she spent 7 years in prison because of something Jinx did. There's two sides to every thing. There's the equation and then there's the solution. And even in the equation, there's two sides to it. Same thing with the universe. There's chaos and there's order. And that goes back to my first quote about chaos is what it is and order is the dream of men. That even says that in the Bible, that in the beginning there was darkness and then there was light, because God said, let there be light. The light was the order. The darkness was the chaos that existed before that. The real thing is to figure out here's just a few tips on how you can right your life when things seem to be out of control. We all deal with chaos, and the way we deal with it is different for each one of us. But how do you deal with it in a way that you can control it and form some sort of order out of it? Lord knows that I know chaos, and I am no expert at finding the order. I know the steps, but sometimes the hard part about conquering the chaos is the discipline that it takes to conquer it. Number one is to be aware of your feelings. Know how you're feeling. You cannot conquer chaos when it rules your life. You have to be aware of your feelings. You cannot let your emotions get out of control and get the best of you. Number two, notice your mindset. Do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? A lot of time chaos will conquer your life when you have a fixed mindset. When you don't want to grow, when you don't want to move, you are fixed, you have tunnel vision, and this is what it is, this is what I'm going to do, and no one can talk me out of it. When you have a growth mindset, you're willing to look at all the possibilities. And that's what life is about, possibilities. 3, focus on what you can control. You can't control everything. You can't control other people. You can't control outcomes that have nothing to do with you. Focus on you and what you can actually control. Number 4, spend time doing things that are meaningful to you. If it's meaningful to you, then it has purpose, and it has purpose in your life. And that's how you start to put order in your life. Chaos will rule the day. And there's many days that you may wake up and let the day do with you what it will do with you, unless you do something that you want to do. Understand, you have to make money. You got to go to your job and deal with the kids and do whatever it is that you do on a daily basis. But that doesn't mean that you have to let the day rule you. Take some control of your life. Number 5, look for your sources of stress. Figure out what you can limit. Find ways to decrease your stress. I had a doctor say that to me recently. I went to the doctor because I was having some stomach issues. And it turns out that I was allowing the stress to take over my life. And I was stressed out about a lot of things. And it turns out I had a bleeding ulcer. And the doctor said to me, you need to decrease your stress. And I was like, I'm black in America. What the hell are you talking about? Decrease my stress. That's nice. You drop a bag of money off on me or something and give me the winning lottery ticket. The hell are you talking about? Decrease my stress. And unfortunately, a lot of my stress is around financial issues. And I do pretty good financially, but it's just my problems are this big and my finances are this big. So, makes it difficult. 6, distract yourself. The devil loves an idle mind. If you can find ways to distract yourself, hopefully if you're doing step number 4, doing something that's meaningful to you, you won't have time to think about the stress and the chaos in your life. Find things to do, even if it's not purposeful, that can distract you from the other BS in your life. And number 7, be sure that your coping strategies are helpful. All right, you know that I'm an advocate of mental health. If you need that, get that. Mental health is important to everyone, and some people will not do what it takes to go seek a professional to help you through your issues, whatever that is. You don't know, you may have some deep-seated issues that go all the way back to your childhood. How can you deal your present problems and fix your future when your past is so convoluted and chaotic? And whatever you're doing to cope, make sure it's helpful. A lot of people find ways to cope, but it's destructive. You drink too much. You smoke too much. You do drugs. You find comfort and relief in the forms of other people. You gamble. There's a lot of things that you can do that are destructive to you and those around you. I don't have the answers. I wish I did. And I wish that these 7 little tips I gave you are enough to help you. But you're going to have to work on it every day. This is Rakai Steed, Noob from the Ville. Make sure that you like, comment, share this as much as possible. And if you have not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, make sure that you subscribe. It's got to be about this. But even more than that, it's got to be about this.